So Teddy Roosevelt took office in 1900 when the President McKinley was assassinated. He wins re-election in 1904. He decided that he was going to retire in 1908. And he was incredibly popular, mostly because of his progressive reform ideas. And he's so popular that he is able to essentially handpick his successor, the person that's going to follow him as president. He asks the Republicans to elect Taft. Taft is going to be the nominee. Taft easily wins the election because he has Teddy Roosevelt's endorsement. Taft, though, is going to become a lot more conservative than Teddy Roosevelt was. Interestingly, he's going to break up more corporations, but he's also going to raise the tariff. And this is really going to make Roosevelt mad because he had assumed that Taft would basically follow along on his policies and just keep doing what he had been doing. So Teddy Roosevelt feels betrayed. He feels like the progressive ideas that he had put into place are not being followed. And he decides to run for re-election in 1912. The problem is that Taft has a fairly sizable percentage of the Republican parties that support him. So Teddy Roosevelt isn't able to win the nomination for the Republican Party in 1912. So he figures he's just going to go form his own party. He creates the Progressive Party, which is going to be called the Bull Moose Party because people said, you know, Teddy Roosevelt, aren't you a little old to be running for office? And he says, I feel as healthy as a bull moose. So they called it the Bull Moose Party. And what ends up happening is in the 1912 election, Teddy Roosevelt, a Republican, is going to be running against Republican Taft, but they're also running against the Democrat Woodrow Wilson. And Taft takes about half of the Republicans, and Teddy Roosevelt gets about half of the Republicans, and they split that Republican ticket, allowing the Democratic candidate, Woodrow Wilson, to win office with only a plurality of the vote. He doesn't actually win the majority of the population. Had Taft or Roosevelt run for office, Wilson would have easily been defeated. But Wilson's going to take office, and he's a Democrat, and he has this new concept that he calls the New Freedom. New Freedom, small federal government, right? Very little federal government action, lots of states' rights. Lots of states' rights. And he wants to break up all the monopolies. Now, he's also a progressive. So we're going to see that he's got a lot of progressive policies that get passed. But this little thing right here, this states' rights, that's going to be an indicator to us. That's a tell. That's a tell. Wilson is going to be terrible for the race relations. He resegregates the parts of the federal government that had started to desegregate. He's going to be supportive of Jim Crow laws in the South. So not a lot of great stuff on race relations with Wilson, but we're going to see some progressive things that he does do.